Welcome to this month's EMBN Tech Show. We've got a packed show coming up for you. We're going to be taking a look at e-mountain bike specific components and whether or not you need them. Also going to be catching up on all the latest tech this month to do with e-mountain bikes.
Chris, do you know what? It's great to be back in a workshop environment. It's my kind of place.
Really? I think I've never seen you in a workshop, Steve, but the shop is absolutely amazing, isn't it? Looking at all the products, the vibe of being in the shop, you simply can't beat it.
Yeah, and its product, which we're going to talk about this month, begins with the One Up Components chain guide, Chris. It's 32 to 38 tooth, weighs 45 grams, 54 pounds, and this is actually specific for Shimano EP8, E8000 and E7000 motors.
Yeah, I think it's worth fitting, isn't it, a chain guide, especially when you're riding in that rough terrain. Last thing you want is that chain dropping off, maybe ruining your best run that you're going to have on Strava. So for what is it, 45 pounds?
54.
54 pounds. It's, you know, it's not a lot of cash to be splashing to save that chain falling off, is it?
Absolutely. Now moving to up front. Now what we have here, Chris, is a set of Josh Bryceland signature bars.
I'm pretty excited about these. I love seeing them in the flesh, actually.
Yeah,
look amazing.
So obviously this is from a company in the north of England. Now these are £70. So the interesting thing about these is he's gone for a slightly higher rise than normal,
Big
right?
rise, isn't it? Yeah. So it's 50 mil rise on these bars, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's really important for those, you know, taller riders. We get a lot of people on the show commenting that they want to be a bit more comfortable. So raising that front end of the bike up is going to give you more comfort and of course maybe a bit more control. Yeah. And personally, I love a high handlebar on my bikes. Yeah.
So we're looking at 800 mil wide. Another up sweep and back sweep. You're looking at 9-degree back sweep and a 5-degree up sweep. 391 grams. Now, do you know what? Handlebars come in a wide range of up sweeps and back sweeps, and it's really good to get tuned into that on your e-mountain bike, I think, because, you know, we're all different shapes. But,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, certainly worth looking at from the guys at BergTech.
Nice.
Now, Chris, you've been talking about e-bike specific products this month. Now, next product we've got here is the Continental E Ruban tyre.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on you know, tyres for e-bikes, or do you think it's... I'm not convinced personally.
I think it's more about where you ride and how you ride. The conditions is going to make you the tyre choice, you know, the ultimate sort of goal. It's not, I don't think we need, you know, to be labelled as an e-specific tyre is what you need. I think it's like, as I say, it comes down to lots of different things.
Yeah, I mean, the tyres we use in the Channel and Maxxis, I mean, I'm pretty much stuck on shorty tyres because it's constantly raining here in the UK. Yeah. But these Rubans from Continental, now 2.1 or 2.6 inch width, range of sizes 26, 27.5 and 29. It looks to me, Chris, that they all weigh in less than a kilo, so we're probably looking at like a trail specific tyre here, right? Yeah,
I think, well, they try and market it as the tyre for a bit of everything from commuting to hitting trail centres at the weekend. I think there's some cool stuff, the compound in there and the breaker technology, so that's like a puncture-proof liner within the tyre is going to stop you getting flat. So yeah, it could be a good option.
So there you go, folks. If you're looking for some durable tyres for long distance riding, check in to those tyres from Continental. Now the next product, slightly controversial, I think. This is the O-Chain Active Chainring. Talk us through it.
So this is designed as some mountain bike, well, some suspension systems on e-bikes and mountain bikes, particularly on those longer travel bikes. You get a lot of pedal feedback when the suspension compresses. Obviously, it's going to vary from different suspension designs out there. But this chainring actually floats via elastomers. So once you get that chain pull from your suspension moving, it actually illuminates that by allowing that chainring to float via some elastomers, which is pretty cool.
Now, as we know, one of probably the most incredible downhill runs ever was by Aaron Gwyn in Leogang about 5 or 6 years ago. His chain snapped out of the gate and he basically won a World Cup race. It's like mind-blowing. But I was fortunate enough to have had a demo at the time, and I took the chain off and I did some back-to-back runs, and what I found actually was the control going into corners without a chain on was actually quite impressive.
Really?
Because you haven't got that tension in the system, so you're able to steer a little bit easier. But nevertheless, sometimes it's good to have that tension in the system, because when you're trying to pump through terrain, you know, a sort of tight bike allows you to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is a product used by Adam Brayton. It doesn't come cheap, Chris, €300.
Yeah, I think maybe if you're looking for that little performance advantage, it could be there. But as you say, it's a lot of cash, possibly not a lot of gain. I don't know.
But
interesting.
I think we should. I think we're on the fence with this one, but certainly something we'd like to go and try out. But whether it's whether it's something you needed on an e-mountain bike? Not so sure. Guys, let us know your thoughts on the O-Chain active chainring. Now, Chris, let's turn to e-bike specific products. Lots to talk about: tyres, wheels, brakes. But probably the most important e-bike product this month has got to be the Link Glide from Shimano, right?
Definitely. I think it's time to head into the shed and have a look. Now, we're seeing a growing trend of e-mountain bike specific components coming to the market, especially over the last few years. But what we want to know is, do they make your bike ride better? Are they worth the extra cash? Are they more durable or more reliable? Let's see if they're worth taking the plunge. First up, tyres. Now, a lot of tyre manufacturers offer e-mountain bike specific tyres in their lineup. I mean, you've got Pirelli, Schwalbe and Vittoria all have those tyres. But what are they said to offer us? Long lasting, lots of grip, lots of protection, and possibly more range in some of those options too. But do we need all of this? Maybe we need to take a look at brands such as Maxxis, which don't have any e-mountain bike specific tyres in their lineup. Here on EMBN, we think that tyres come down to the type of terrain and the climate that you're riding in. If you're riding dry and dusty trails that aren't super tech, then you can get away with a lightweight, fast rolling tyre. But if you're into riding the wet, muddy, natural trails, then you're going to want something big and soft that is going to offer a load of grip. So you need to tailor that tyre to suit the type of riding you do. Wheels. Now, a lot of wheel manufacturers have an e-mountain bike specific wheel in their lineup too. You've got DT, you've got E13, and of course Mavic all have those wheels in their lineup. And what this usually means is that they're going to be designed to take a beating. They're usually made out of alloy, and they're going to be slightly heavier and just beefed up in general. You're also going to have a steel freehub body on there, which is designed to take that increased torque load. And when it comes to replacing that cassette, it becomes a lot easier than a cassette that is chewed into an alloy carrier. Well, do you need them? Yes and no. A lot of the wheels we ride here on EMBN have that e-mountain bike specific tag on them, but we also ride carbon wheels on our e-bikes and we ride alloy versions too. Much like tyres, it depends on your riding style and how you ride your bike. You might find that a downhill wheel set or an enduro mountain bike wheel set will be plenty enough to handle that beating that your e-bike gives out. The cassette. Now, you might have seen on a recent video where I fitted an 8-speed cassette to my Levo, and you know what? That thing works pretty well. Some of our other bikes, such as our Canevos, well, they're fitted with an 1142 tooth cassette, and they climb just as well as those big range gears, the 1052 that you might see on something like the Levo. Not a lot of difference there. Also, SRAM did do an e-mountain bike specific cassette called the EX1, and that thing was a monster. A lot of weight, purely made of steel, but we don't see a lot of that these days. Now, the big news when it comes to cassette is that they've got the recent release of the Shimano Link Glide system. Now, this is slightly heavier than our usual Hyperglide system, but it is said to last 3 times as long, and it's going to be available in 10 and 11 speed setups, so you're going to be able to fit that to all of your bikes. Now, this could be the news that we're waiting for. The chain, the part that links it all together. Now, you've got lots of options here for e-bike rated chains from big guns such as Shimano and KMC. But as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to drivetrain, the thing that I want to see is that Shimano Link Glide chain. Will it last longer? Will it be stronger? Only time will tell. Do we need e-bike chains? Yes, they definitely make the difference. The cranks, the part that power you along. Now, there are a lot of e-mountain bike specific options out there from Hope, Praxis, and of course Rotor have recently joined the lineup too. They offer a little bit more ground clearance and add a bit of pimpness to your ride. I mean, check these out. The saddle, somewhere you will be spending a lot of time on your e-mountain bike. Now, we have options from Ergon, SQ Labs, Proxima, and of course Physique. Now, they all have their own takes on what should be e-mountain bike specific, but it is quite a personal item, so it comes down to you at the end of the day. Features on the e-mountain bike specific saddles are going to be a lipped rear, lots of cushioning, bit of float in the rails, and of course that padded nose area all make the difference. And lastly, the brakes on your e-mountain bike are super important to bring you down from speed, and one of the most important parts of your brake is going to be the rotor size. 200 to 230 mil is going to be the minimum here. Anything less than that, it's going to cook up. And caliper wise, where we see a lot of brands switching to a 4-piston caliper now, meaning that heat's going to dissipate a lot better and give you a lot of bite. Although we still do see some 2-piston brakes that do work pretty effectively. And of course the pads, you can get e-mountain bike specific pads that do make the difference. They last a little bit longer, expel the heat better, and give you that a little bit more bite. So check those out too.
Okay folks, now next up on our Mountain Tech products is this from Red Panda Components. It's a dust guide. Oh, Wayne, what's this? What's Red Panda?
It's like an extra seal protection for your lever.
Right, extra seal protection for your lever, and obviously bringing in an expert here. From, where are they from?
Russia.
Oh, the Russians. Russians and some brake protection then, so there you go. Do you know any more about these things?
I heard that it's meant to improve the consistency, like the bite point of the brake as well. So I think it just, adds a bit of protection. It's going to stop all that mud and water entering that master cylinder. And it looks a bit pimped too.
I'm not convinced. I've never had any problems with Shimano brakes. In fact, Shimano brakes are my favourite brakes.
I'm pretty top of the list for me as well, to be fair.
But there you go, folks. Red Panda Components. The price of these...
33 euros to 66.
No, 33 to 66.
Yeah.
It looks like they're SLX specific, are they?
I think they do them for a few different models, actually, looking on the website.
Right. Now, finally, one of probably the most important parts of your e-mountain bike is your brakes. Now, these are some new brakes, the Magura Pro Edition brakes. Some of the detail here, 4-piston, 1-finger lever with huge power, so say Magura, 255 grams. And some huge rotors available here too for what Magura say is the ultimate braking power. But it comes at a price, 480 euros for the set of these.
Yeah, and it's the colour of these that makes them stand out. Of course, it was the bright yellow. This is only available for the pros, but now we're seeing it on these limited edition brakes. So you can get that pro look on your bike.
It's quite interesting that these rotors, 230mm rotors, 220mm rotors.
Yeah.
Certainly where we should be going.
It's standard. I noticed on my Canyon on the Torque, it's 220 rotor up front on that bike. So, we're looking at 200 last year, stepping it up to 220, 230 as well aftermarket, isn't there?
Yeah. Have you seen some people run the Magura?
And Shimano.
They run Magura and Shimano. It's called Shigura.
Shigura. Sounds like something you have with your coffee, right?
I've had enough coffee today. Anyway, folks, that's it for the Mountain Tech. Thanks for joining us. Let us know your thoughts on Chris's in-depth look into e-bike specifics or e-bike. How do you say specificity? The wife? Specificity. There you go. If you can help us with our pronunciation and our spelling, please do so, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
And thanks to the guys from Ace Cycles. Great coffee. Not bad bikes.